check out our streaming schedule for this week. We've got tons of content in terms of the NFL and college football, as we're going live just about every single day this week. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment where we go live. And now, on with our feature presentation. October 6, 2024. It's week 5 of the NFL season, and we've got an AFC battle on our hands down at NRG Stadium in Houston between two playoff teams from last year and two of the best teams in the NFL, in the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. For the main team in our story, the Bills, this is a big game for them, especially coming off of an embarrassing defeat last week on Sunday Night Football at the hands of the Baltimore Ravens. After the Jets lost earlier in the day in London, the Bills have a real chance here with the win to create a nice cushion on the division. Win this game, and you're up 2. Lose this game, and not only are you officially in a skid, you might be out of first place by the time Week 6 is done. Head coach Sean McDermott had already made some interesting coaching decisions this season, most notably, whatever the heck you want to call that trick play against the Ravens that resulted in a Josh Allen fumble. And his seat is relatively warm due to his in-game decisions over the years. He cannot afford to have it heat up anymore, which, yeah, we'll get to that. But before I do get to that, if you like learning more about the weird and the wacky history of the NFL, then this is the place for you. Because we talk about all things NFL history all the time with a new video every single day and a live stream every single day. So if you like that sort of stuff, then be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we post on the channel. Thanks in advance for your support as we try and hit 70,000 subscribers. The score is tied at 20 apiece, and you've got the ball at your own 2-yard line with 32 seconds left and no timeouts. Now the Texans have all their timeouts, so they'll get the ball back with a stop. So it's important that you don't go 3 and out. At the very least, you do not call deep shots until you get a first down, especially with a concussed quarterback. Just run and call some high percentage plays to get some breathing room on a punt if it comes down to that, or to get a first and to make sure the clock runs out and you're okay. First down. Show me what you got.
From their own 3-yard line. Allen throws on first down. It's a battle. Keon Coleman.
All right, you're going deep. Not sure I agree with that. Houston now has a timeout they can use if they get the ball back, allowing them to use the middle of the field, but maybe you just want to take one deep shot to see what the heck happens. Okay. Second down. Take 2.
Gain yardage. 27 seconds left. Allen in the pocket. Heaves it. Deep shot downfield. Hollins.
All right, you're going deep. Again. Are you okay, Sean? Are you actually okay? Do you need a glass of water? Do you need something to get back into this? Really? Third down. Don't do it again, man. Don't do it.
From the gun. Rushes on. Allen waits and throws. He bounces it.
You're kidding me. You're actually kidding me. You're actually freaking kidding me. 3 deep shots with a concussed quarterback completing 30% of his passes in your own end zone. Are you actually out of your mind?
Snap. Placement. Sweeps the leg. Fairbairn. It's good.
Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something to look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something to look awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this could possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're going to take a look at the mind of Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott. I swear, from an in-game management standpoint, McDermott is holding this team back because he's cost his team quite a few games with some absolutely idiotic decisions. At this point, McDermott's seat has to be flaming hot if Buffalo misses the playoffs. You got the ending to the game against Philadelphia last year, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. You had the ending to the game against Denver last year, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. You had the ending to the first half of the game against Cincinnati last year, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. You had whatever the heck the ending was to the first half against Tampa Bay last year, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. In not even 12 calendar months, Sean McDermott has become a member of the 5-Timers Club. That's how awful his in-game management has been, and to say that it cost his team here in this spot would be putting it lightly. So with that being said, Let's take a look at why throwing 3 deep passes in your own end zone with 30 seconds left in a tie game is a really bad idea. And I want to make something extremely clear before going any further. I had no issue with throwing the football. I know some people are going to be like, well, why didn't you just run the ball 3 times and take it into overtime? And I'd be right there with you all the way if the Texans had 2 timeouts, or 1 timeout, or no timeouts. If there was no way that the Texans could get the ball back with a running clock, then you absolutely just play for overtime there. Having said that, Houston had 3 timeouts. And even if you call 3 running plays and the Texans take all their timeouts, the Texans are getting the ball back and they have time to call a play or 2 to the sideline before lining up for the field goal. In other words, the Bills needed to get a first down to ensure the fact that the Texans wouldn't touch it again in regulation. So the decision by this man right here to throw passes? No issue. Genuinely no issue. If these were screens or slants, this would be an in defense of episode. Having said that, to call those passes? Those freaking passes? The goal on this drive should not be to score because, let's be honest, you have no chance at scoring. You're at your own 3-yard line, you have no timeouts, and you have 31 seconds left. Even if you complete a 30-yard pass, by the time you get to the line and spike it, you've only got 13 seconds left or thereabout to get another 35 yards and get what you need in order to get into field goal range for one of the worst kickers in the NFL, mind you. You need to get to Houston's 40 to even have a chance. And you need to drive 57 yards in 31 seconds with no timeouts, all while having the back of the end zone act as a defender at the start of the drive. The odds are incredibly slim. There is a time to be aggressive and to trust your franchise quarterback. And then, there is a time to be smart and be reasonable. This was that time. Calling slant passes or screens or dump-offs, as in high percentage throws that ensure the fact that you can get the completion, totally fine. No issue there. Again, the goal on the drive should be to get a first down to prevent Houston from touching the ball. If you do score for some insane reason or pick up a huge chunk of yards, that's a bonus. But with the Texans having 3 timeouts and with you being pinned deep, the only, and I truly mean it, the only way I'm trying anything remotely deep is if you already get a first down and there is no scenario in which the Texans get the ball back with any time left. Scoring should be secondary. Scoring is a bonus. Your primary objective on offense, even if it sounds counterintuitive, is to play defense and prevent the other team from touching the ball, especially when you be punting out of your own end zone when said team has a clutch quarterback in CJ Stroud and has a clutch kicker with a cannon of a leg in Kaimi Fairbairn. 3 deep passes, 3 plays that are, in essence, jump balls, and this makes even less sense to try these low percentage plays than ensure the fact that Houston will get the ball again if you don't convert them, when you realize that Josh Allen was playing with a freaking concussion. I don't care that he technically passed the medical test. You can't possibly tell me, after the way his head hit the ground in the 4th quarter just a few minutes before this, that he was perfectly fine and able to go. Prior to the start of this drive, Josh Allen was 9 for 27. Yes, you heard that right. 9 for 27. 2 out of 3 ain't bad when it comes to Meatloaf. But when it comes to the percentage of throws that hit the ground, that is awful. Your idea of trying to get a first down in the back of your own end zone with no timeouts is to call 4 verts and play Madden with a quarterback completing 33% of his passes who is badly concussed. Let me repeat that just to show you the absurdity of it. Your idea of trying to get a first down in the back of your own end zone with no timeouts is to call 4 verts and play Madden with a quarterback completing 33% of his passes who is badly concussed. That's your idea, Sean McDermott. This is something that a 5-year-old does in a video game. This is not something that a multi-million-dollar head coach does. Throwing the ball? Fine. Chucking it deep on all 3 plays to ensure the fact that not only will the play be super low percentage, but to ensure the fact that they fall incomplete, that you're punting out of your own end zone with no breathing room? Especially stupid. Especially since Allen completed as many passes as I did in the 4th quarter today. 0. And he was 0 for his last 5 before this drive. Personally, I would have run the ball 3 times, since you're probably not losing any yardage, since you keep your quarterback upright, since you limit the possibility of a holding in the end zone, and since even if you don't get it, Houston can't use the middle of the field when they get it back and you're not punting out of the back of your own end zone. Under no circumstances would I or any sane or rational person would have done this. And do you want to know how I know that Sean McDermott is a dead man walking and is completely in over his head? Because after the game, someone, unsurprisingly, asked him about the decision to chuck 3 shots there instead of safe throws or runs to just try and get a first down and get some sort of breathing room. And why the heck do you try low percentage plays 3 in a row with a concussed quarterback and an inefficient quarterback on this day when overtime is on the table? You want to know what McDermott had to say about it?
Sean, were you on board with the 3 play calls, the 3 passes in that situation?
I'm not going to get into that. I don't think that's relevant right now.
That's right. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. I'm sorry. What? What the heck do you mean it was irrelevant? It's the literal reason you lost the game. It was the biggest decision. It was the last time you touched the ball. It's what allowed the Texans to win in regulation, despite some stupidity on their part with throwing in field goal range on the previous possession. This isn't like someone asked a question about why you didn't challenge a game of 3 when it was a game of 4. This is the defining play and the defining sequence of the game. And it's irrelevant? Can you imagine Pete Carroll saying after being questioned why he had the Seahawks throw the ball at the goal line in Super Bowl 49, that the play was irrelevant? Can you imagine Joe Gibbs saying after he called a double timeout against Buffalo in 2007 that allowed the Bills to win it, that sequence was irrelevant? No, you can't. Not with a straight face, at least. It's like saying in a murder case that the knife with blood on it and DNA evidence on it is irrelevant. It's like saying in a bank robbery case that the security footage that showed the entire incident play out is irrelevant. If McDermott genuinely thinks that this sequence of all sequences is irrelevant, then he is not qualified to be a head coach. If he doesn't know the difference between relevant and irrelevant, then he is not qualified to lead a team. Because let me tell you right now, this was the most relevant sequence of your entire freaking season thus far. And look, when it comes to this team behind me right here in the Buffalo Bills, the good news is that even despite their slump as of late, and despite whatever the heck the ending of the Texan game was, they're still in a really good spot to win the division. The New England Patriots have no offense to speak of. They might be the worst team in football right now. The New York Jets, well, they're kind of slumping right now. Aaron Rodgers looks kind of old, and Robert Saleh just is not a good head coach whatsoever. And the Miami Dolphins don't have a quarterback to speak of right now, and they're very, very banged up. So the Buffalo Bills are still in the driver's seat, even despite everything that's happened over the last 2 weeks with them. But still, Sean McDermott is trying his absolute best to level the playing field. He really is. He is really trying to level the playing field, because this decision just made no sense whatsoever. I don't know if they win the game or not, if they be smart here, or throw some quick passes, or do some runs. I know this much. They definitely don't lose in regulation compared to, well, whatever the heck we saw here. This was just awful. So what do we learn from all of this? If your quarterback is completing 1/3 of his passes and is badly concussed, and your quarterback has no timeouts to work with, and your quarterback has completed no passes in the last hour despite attempting 5 of them, and your quarterback is in his own end zone, then maybe don't let your quarterback throw deep down the field and try plays where the advantage is already with the defense. And would be even more so since he's a bit woozy. I'm not even sure I need to say anything else. I really don't. I mean, this one speaks for itself. There are some dumb decisions you have to think about and are about differences in the clock, 5 seconds, 6, 7 differences. And then there's some like this one that just fell from the sky right into my lap. And if McDermott gets canned at the end of the year, this will be Exhibit A as to why that's the case. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as it helps the channel out a lot. And check out my other channels, JG8 for the history of college football, JG7 for the history of baseball, and JG9 News, where we talk about all things happening in the NFL. Join me every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll play live NFL trivia for cash prizes. And make sure to join me live, as we're on stream just about every single day. And thanks to all our Patreon members and our YouTube members for helping out the channel. See how you become a member and show your support financially in the description down below.